Hello again, everybody. This is Steve Kallas, speaking of sports, and we're here to preview the College Football National Championship game between undefeated LSU and undefeated Clemson. So big build-up to this game. Clemson hasn't lost. They've won 29 in a row. Trevor Lawrence, their superstar quarterback, who I heard on ESPN would have been the first pick in the draft last year, would have been the first pick in the draft this year, but he's not eligible to the draft until next year. So presumably he'll be the first pick of the draft next year if he stays healthy. But he's 25-0 as a starter. Clemson has won 29 games in a row. This will be 2 undefeated seasons in a row, and if they win, it'll be 3 national championships in 4 years. That's only been done 3 previous times: Notre Dame back in the 40s, Nebraska in the 90s, and Alabama culminating with the 2012 championship. So that's obviously rarefied air. But can they win? Now, LSU is a 5.5-point favorite. I think that's an overreaction to what they did to Oklahoma. You know what they did. Joe Burrow threw 7 touchdowns in the first half and ran for an 8th. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's like a video game. I do like LSU to win the game. I think it's going to be very close, though. And again, it's hard to pick against Clemson. These ESPN FPIs or whatever they are, they say Clemson's going to win. A lot of people are picking Clemson to win. It's hard not to pick a team that's won 29 games in a row with a quarterback who's never lost in college, who by all accounts would be the first pick in the draft. So I'm going to go over a few stats and a few players and a few injuries and stuff. But the first thing I want to talk about is the LSU defense, which had been suspect earlier in the year. But in the last 3 games, they held Texas A&M, Georgia, and Oklahoma in the playoff to their lowest point total of the year. And they only gave up 75 yards per game rushing. In college, that's pretty incredible. Now, as you probably know, besides Trevor Lawrence being a great runner, their running back Etienne, he's a great runner as well. So I don't know if they can do that with Clemson, but that's going to be one of the keys to the game. The defense, they're getting healthy. LSU's defense is getting healthy. Delpit had an ankle, but he's healthy. Caleb Von Chason had an ankle, but he's healthy. And Michael Divinity, who is maybe their best pass rusher, he was suspended for a lot of games. I mean, like 6 weeks ago, they said, maybe he can play in the championship game. And he is playing in the championship game, but nobody really knows why he was suspended. But he was suspended, but he is coming back for this game. When you put those 3 guys healthy and in the LSU defense, we haven't even talked about LSU's offense yet, but LSU's defense, they're a lot better than they will be, a lot better than they've been, and they've been really good the last 3 games. So can they slow down Clemson? I think this will be a high-scoring game. I don't think you can stop Clemson any more than I think Clemson can stop LSU. So I look for a high-scoring game. I don't want to go back much to the Oklahoma game, but Burrow throws to 4 top receivers. Jefferson, had 4 touchdowns in the game. Terrace Marshall had 2 touchdowns in the game. Thaddeus Moss, the tight end, had that 160-yard touchdown. Yes, that's Randy Moss's son. And Jamar Chase, who didn't have a touchdown, just happened to be the Biletnikoff winner, the best wide receiver in college football. So they are loaded. And also importantly, they've just been really, really – Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who only played like 5 plays because he was hurt. Once it was a rout, they took him out of the game. He carried twice for 14 yards. But he can run it really well also. And he was no factor. He hardly played in the Oklahoma game. So they have just, to me, an unstoppable offense. I don't think Clemson can stop that offense. I think if Clemson wins, it's going to be like a, 48-42 shootout or something. Having said that, T. Higgins, Justin Ross, they're top wide receivers. They have the Butkus Award winner, best linebacker, Isaiah Simmons. So they're loaded as well. A lot of people are picking Clemson because now that they got over the hump against Ohio State, you can no longer say they didn't beat anybody this year, and that's true. And Ohio State could have won that game, but they didn't. Clemson, Trevor Lawrence makes big plays, that 67-yard touchdown run, for example. They really have a big-time chance to win, but I still think it's going to be very close. And I still think LSU and Joe Burrow, the Heisman Trophy winner, who clearly was the best player in the country this year, I think they're going to get the job done. That's Monday night after the playoff games in the NFL on Saturday and Sunday. This is Steve Kallas speaking of sports. We'll see you the next time.